Dear listeners and viewers, welcome to the critical analysis of the poem You Are Lost, written by Isaac Mruma. Here is the critical analysis of this poem. The poem is found in the book Sermons, the poetry book written by Tanzanian poets. First and foremost, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Ishoza, an English teacher and a literature teacher as well, a Tanzanian English and a literature teacher. May I welcome you in this analysis of the poem You Are Lost by Isaac Mruma. And hopefully this lesson is going to be useful to Tanzanian students who are in Form 3 and Form 4 studying English language and literature respectively. First and foremost, may I read through the poem. May I read through the entire poem. You are lost. And mind you that the poet of this poem is Isaac Mruma. He is a Tanzanian citizen. He is a Tanzanian by citizenship. Here the poem reads, To you, Dada, it is the days that matter, for we are unable to chat in the language we had. When I look at you and see my paisley in your eyes, I feel empty and sad. Your glancing sister is to me the measure of the heat of the dove in my pocket. Never a patience cruel. To you I am a tool, and all my wages know the fare. I ride on your throbbing kisses. It is you I accuse, because your love is lost, and you only touch me with the tenderness that asks where my wallet is. It is to you, Dada, that my pain tears depart, for I only see your love forecasted on my purse. With your passions, shares in my bank account. Having read the poem, here is the critical analysis that will broadly act as an form and content. What is the title of this poem? Mind you that the title of this poem is You Are Lost. And the general idea of this poem is depiction of untrue love exhibited by the persona who is a man in this poem. The persona is not a true, actually the persona experiences untrue love exhibited by his lover, and the lover is depicted by the poet by using the word Dada. The word Dada is a Swahili word that literally means sister, but the sister to be actually meant in this poem is not the biological sister, rather she is a mistress whom the persona engages himself with sexual relationship, and mind you that she is not his wife. The Dada referred in this poem can be referred to as a prostitute, the one who makes love for money. Now, what are the guiding questions under this poem? The first question asks only how many stanzas are there in the poem. The poem is made up of 6 stanzas in the poem. The poem is made up of 6 stanzas. The second question asks on what is the tone and mood of the poet. The tone is the voice quality of the persona, the voice quality of the one who is actually speaking the poem, and the poet is sad and lamenting, sad of the behavior exhibited by the lover, whom he used to believe that maybe Dada would have true love, but this comes quite different from the expectation of the persona. What is the mood of this poet? The mood is unhappy. The persona is actually not pleased with the behavior of untrue love as exhibited by the Dada in this poem. What type of the poem is this? This poem is the modern poem. Why is it regarded as the modern poem? And mind you that modern poems, in other words, they are termed as frivolous poems, are the poems that violate some traditional rules of writing poems, and we find some number of verses varying across the stanzas. But also, the poet develops from rhyming scheme, and we hereby find that the poem does not stick to traditional rules of writing poems. So this is the modern or frivolous poem. What is the next question asks of who is the persona and how do you know? The persona is the man who experiences cheating in love, the man who used to trust the woman who is not a true lover, and we find him regretting at the end after familiarizing himself, after becoming aware that Dada in this particular poem is actually cheating love, and we find him now conscious and aware of the behavior of this woman in the poem. Comment on the use of figures of speech. Here is another question, dear listener and viewers. Before extracting some possible figures of speech, what are the figures of speech in literature? Figures of speech in literature simply mean some words or phrases whose meanings go beyond the literal or the surface meaning. Various figures of speech can be obtained in this poem, and before analyzing them with vivid examples from the poem, examples of figures of speech may include symbolism, hyperbole, repetition, exaggeration, in other words, that is an alternative term for hyperbole, anaphora, and the process just mentioning the few. The first possible figure of speech to be extracted in this poem is barbarism. What is barbarism by definition? This is the figure of speech that uses other languages apart from English language in poetry. Barbarism has actually been used by the use of the word Dada. The word Dada is the Swahili word that means sister, but it's the notation does not refer to the biological sister. Rather, the one who is referred as that in this poem is the mistress whom the persona involves in love affairs with. Some verses to verify barbarism from the poem are like, to you, Dada. The word Dada is actually not an English word, it is a Swahili word to mean sister. Another figure of speech to be extracted in this poem is personification. What is personification by definition? Personification, the figure of speech that gives some human qualities and features to non-humans. Some features and the natural phenomena have actually been personified in this poem, whereby we find them looking like real human beings whom we know. The possible verses to be identified in this poem include the tenderness that asks where my word is. Tenderness has actually been personified. It is impossible to find tenderness asking some questions to the persona, asking some questions on where the world is. Another quotation that actually verifies personification is, with your patient chase on the bank account. Patients cannot actually chase the bank account. That is human quality. The next figure of speech is exaggeration. What is exaggeration? In other words, it is termed as hyperbole. Exaggeration refers to the use of language beyond its normal denotation and meaning. Some words have been exaggerated in the way they look extraordinary beyond what we could imagine. The relevant quotation under exaggeration is, when I look at you and see my payslip in your eyes, so it is not possible to see some payslip in one's eyes. But the intention of using this particular verse was just to highlight to us that the persona is actually aware of exploitation love as experienced by Dada in this particular poem. The next figure of speech is metaphor. It is the figure of speech that compares two distinct things without employing or using conjunctions. The verse, to you I am now a tool, that is actually a metaphorical statement that actually compares the persona directly to a tool in the poem. But a tool referred is the source of income. So you find that in the poem trying to make money from the persona. The next question under guiding questions has only comment on the rhyming scheme. Rhyming scheme, having commented that this poem is the model of its kind, rhymes have actually been violated in the poem. So the poem found two verses that actually paint the picture of rhyme. Verses like never passion's call, to you I am now a tool, so it's cool and tool do rhyme this poem. Other verses do not rhyme the poem, so this poem actually violates itself from some rhyming pattern, rhyming scheme. The next question asks whether the poem is relevant to the society today, and why this poem is relevant. For a thing to be relevant to the society simply means it is applicable to the society. Is it actually the core of the contemporary society? So this poem is quite relevant to the contemporary society, and we find actually the poem highlighting the behavior of untrue love and the prostitution of women that has actually been common in the surrounding of today. We find women who make love for the purpose of earning money, women who exploit men, but also men who are cheated in love, and men who actually become aware after being exploited, like the persona. Hypocrisy, betrayal, and commercial sex are common phenomena in the society, and the society should actually learn enough from this poem for social welfare. Now the next part of analysis, dear listeners and viewers, asks only thematic analysis. What are the possible themes or central ideas to be extracted from this poem? The first dominant idea is untrue love, that is so about the prostitution of women in the society, as represented by Dada in the poem. Dada is hypocritical in this particular poem because she actually pretends kissing and hugging the persona, trying to make the persona believe her, but the intention is just to exploit him. And love has been very common in the society, should actually discourage untrue love to avoid some unnecessary conflicts. The next thing to be started is protest, that has actually been resulted from conflict. Protest is actually shown by the persona who actually goes against the demands of Dada in this particular poem. Having familiarized himself and having conscientized himself of the exploitation that goes on the side of Dada, the persona is actually waging the war against the exploitation love, and this actually is verified in this poem and the persona states. It is to you, Dada, that my pain tear the pride, for I only see your love forecasted on my past. So the persona is actually aware of Dada's expectation. The next thing is awareness. The persona is quite aware of Dada's expectation in this particular poem, because what Dada does is actually exploitative in nature, that is in love affair. Prostitution is another possible themes to be extracted from this poem, because you find Dada representing other prostitutes in the surrounding, somewhere in the society, women and girls who make money through love, and this actually presses them into danger zone and into the situation and the environment of acquiring some sexual transmitted infections, and this should be discouraged at all cost. The last thing to be identified in this poem is exploitation. So you find Dada exploiting the persona in this poem, because what she does focuses on persona's income. That is exploitation. But men should also learn that women and the prostitute cheat in love. So they should not give the room for exploitation to ensure and to spare themselves from unnecessary exploitation, that is financial exploitation. Not only financial exploitation, but also find that such kind of behavior can result to what we call family instabilities. What are the possible lessons that the reader obtains from this poem? What are the possible lessons or message that the reader can obtain? So, having read the poem, one can learn several lessons, and one can actually obtain and come up with possible lessons to learn. First and possible lesson is that prostitution should be discouraged at all costs. Prostitution should be discouraged at all costs, because we find some individuals being exploited. Dear listener and viewer, one can also learn that love based on money is not good. So women and girls should avoid exploiting men through imitating, through actually pretending love that is actually the source of exploitation, and that actually results to conflict, because it is actually inevitable to find a sense of tension and frictions, but also the sense of misunderstanding between the persona and the other who actually exploits the persona. Hypocrisy in love should be discarded and be discouraged. Hypocrisy, as exceeded by Dada, should be discouraged at all cost, because we find her trying to commit hypocrisy, trying to live hypocritic life that actually results to unnecessary conflicts. The next lesson, last one, men should be aware of the tricks used by girls to get their money, not to girls, but also prostitutes at large. Men should develop awareness in order to avoid exploitation that can result from exploitation. And do you think this poem is quite relevant to the contemporary society? As the additional comment to this poem is actually relevant, and you find exploitation in love, prostitution being very common in the contemporary society. This poet has actually succeeded. I mean, Isaac Mruma is successful enough in this poem because he has reflected what actually happens in the contemporary world, and we find some lessons that actually can be useful and constructive for social welfare, and trying to mold some personalities and behaviors of individuals. Having presented this to you, may I thank you for attention and listening. Thank you so much, and I would like to invite you on this YouTube channel. Kindly subscribe and like possibly, and let me know that you are actually around here making the follow-up of these lessons that are actually useful to Tanzanian students, those of Form 3 and Form 4. Stay tuned and keep in touch with the lessons. Thank you so much, and have